quickly into the syllabi. Here, just runs through the basic stuff, talks more about my office hours and virtual office hours, gives you the book again, hardware requirements. Make sure you've installed Adobe Creative Cloud, Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and Media Encoder. We're going to be using Media Encoder to actually render out our videos. It reiterates the idea that there's no late work accepted in this class. It also gives the point breakdown. So we start off with some basics. Do you understand what's been covered at the beginning of this class? And academic integrity agreement, so the course intro quiz and academic integrity agreement here. That's free and easy, 15 points. Introductory discussion. Who are you? I'm interested to know. It's been a fascinating group of students I've had online thus far. I'm relatively new to ASU. I started in August of 2018, come from the Chicago area, and I've been teaching animation and visual effects as well as game design at various universities in the Midwest. So I'm interested to seeing your backgrounds and what you bring to the table. Then we have a bit of the creative brief. The creative brief, storyboard, and animatic are 150 points total. We have those 2 project milestone checks I introduced earlier, these guys right here in Module 3 and 4. And then we are into the final project, and that's 100 points. So total points here are 340. Outside of that, there's not a whole lot to talk about in the syllabus. You need to make sure and read through it, but I'm not going to take a video time to cover more of it. So that's basically your core class information: the syllabus, the schedule, the textbook, myself, and then the virtual office hours. Now, these general files, we'll be talking about those in a bit, but here is where you will get started: the course introduction quiz and the academic integrity agreement. And then here is Module 0 that'll be opening up on March 11th at 12 a.m. And again, there's the introductions, very easy 15-point assignment. And I'll talk about the creative brief in just a bit, as well as the semester project. But I want to give you a bit of a pacing here and the way this is laid out. So the creative brief is assigned in Module 0, and I click in there. There is no submit in this part of the assignment. When Module 1 opens up for you, here's Module 1. We'll have a lecture and the core readings and the supplemental materials that go with this course. But you'll actually submit the creative brief. It's assigned up here. It's submitted into the next module. So please be aware, whenever you see assigned, that's really the overview. You're not going to be submitting it in that part of Canvas. You're going to be looking for the creative brief submit or the storyboard submit. In this case, it's assigned, but please understand that pattern. So now I'm going to start here. I'm going to work with the semester project first. And again, I just want to give you an idea early on of what everything is feeding into. So go through. I've given you this PDF. Read through it. But basically, you're creating a television commercial or infomercial. It has to be from an existing product, service, or organization. Nonprofits are okay as well. And these are some of the basic parameters that you're going to need to review. Now, the biggest thing with this, at least starting off, is that if you are using a lower powered computer, typically a laptop, you're going to want to use this as your setting. Okay, there's a resolution difference. Basically, this is standard high definition, and this is basic, or that's standard definition, and this is high definition. And high definition is basically going to take 4 times more computer resources than standard definition is. And either one is fine for this course. Just we want to make sure that we're going to be able to run things on our computers, because After Effects is a very power-hungry application. So please be aware of that. Go through, read through the semester project. We're going to be talking more about this. But in the end, we just want to focus on one module at a time. while keeping the semester project in the back of our minds overall on the bigger picture. Now with that, let's talk about the creative brief. So the creative brief, what you want to do with this is create the essence and idea of your project. The key point I want you to walk away from with the creative brief is that no two creative briefs are ever the same. I've worked for so many different companies, and we've worked with so many different styles, formats, depth of creative briefs, and none of them have been the same, even within the same companies. So please understand, in the Canvas lessons here, I do give many examples, both through the video as well as previous student work, and yours doesn't need to follow exactly the same format as theirs. What is important is that it's readable. The idea of a creative brief is basically I should be able to look at it within 90 seconds of looking at your creative brief. I should be able to get the information quickly. I should know what's going on. I should know your general intent. I should be able to jump around. It's not a document you read from the top to the bottom. You jump around within the creative brief, like, oh, what's the logo going to look like? What kind of fonts are they going to use? What, again, is the audience analysis versus the client analysis? What does the client want out of this? As I ask my questions, I'm just going to be jumping around the creative brief to get my answers. So the best format creative brief really is one that allows individuals that are unfamiliar with the project to jump around and quickly find answers as they develop questions about the project. So go ahead, read through this. You're going to be submitting a PDF of your creative brief. You're going to want to go through this thoroughly because this is the core, the foundation of your idea that you're going to be working with the rest of this semester. We have discussion boards over here, and we have Canvas bugs. Anytime we run into a Canvas bug, post it up in here. It may or may not be worth some extra credit. If it's a legitimate Canvas bug that we're able to fix and improve the course, I will offer you extra credit accordingly. The software and technical questions. If you don't know how to do something, or maybe Photoshop or Illustrator or After Effects is acting strangely to you, or maybe it's on your machine, go ahead and post up a question in here. It's not necessarily for the professor or the teaching assistant to answer all the questions that are posted in here. A great deal of this relies on students posting their own experiences and solutions and answers. Please feel free to jump in here and answer other students' questions as you see fit. Finally, hallway conversations are general classroom discussions. When you don't understand part of the assignment, if there's a question about an idea within the assignment, go ahead and post it up in hallway conversations. We'll field those questions with answers. And then finally, you're going to see other discussions populate as we go through this course. But the first one is, as we talked about earlier, the introductions. With that having been said, I'm going to sign off on the first part of this lecture. I wish you well. Again, post up questions. Email me if you have other questions that are more of a personal nature. I look forward to seeing your work.